if you're going to have a positive experience when you're traveling, you got to get out of the factory mentality. When you check in a hotel, though, they say, what's your name? Do you have a reservation? Do you have what? Not just a credit card, a major credit card. I have these made up. On the front it says this is a major credit card. My last name's Gard, so it's a MasterCard card. That's my 800 number. And they look me right in the eye and they go, Mr. Gard, do you have some other form of identification? And if you turn the card over on the back, it says, here it is. Now, do they laugh every time they see this? No. I don't care. I can't wait to show it to them, though. One of the first times I used it, I don't care what country I'm in, I get good laughs with this. I go to check in, I'm in Canada, and I'm in Toronto. I go up the counter, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I am this young man's worst nightmare. I'm ready to play, he's the only human available. And I walk up, hi, Tim Gard checking in. What's he say? What's your name? Still Tim Gard. He said, do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. He said, sir, I'm going to need to see a major credit card. And I said, I have one. And he takes the card and he looks at it. Now the numbers aren't even raised, you know, and he's... Now normally he'd ask for help. There's nobody there, but he does it anyway. And he said, sir, I don't know what to do. And I said, if it were me, now this is just me, but if it were me, I would ask for some other form of identification. And he said, do you have some other form? Woohoo! And Now here's the thing about this. They don't laugh every time they see this, but I have fun with them, and I'm always having to look at finding new ways of getting people to laugh at it. I was in a hotel in Miami. I go walking up to the front desk. Again, I say, and they throw me for a loop. Hi, Tim Gard checking in. What'd they say? What's your name? Still Tim Gard. Do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. And this young man says, and how would you like to make payment? And I said, that's not what you're supposed to ask. And he said, what am I supposed to ask? I said, I can't tell you or it's not funny. You just have to ask it and then it's funny. And he says, how would you like to make payment? And I said, you missed out on a lot of fun, buddy, a lot of fun. That's not valid till you sign it. And so I thought I need to write some new material. So the next time I check an hotel, I have new material, have my major credit card, I come walking up, hi, Tim Gard checking in. What'd they say? What's your name? Still Tim Gard. Do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. And the young man looks at me and says, and how would you like to make payment? And I said, I would like to make payment with tales of glory and adventure. Gather your stuff and I will tell you a tale to amaze and amuse you. Gather them now and the tale will follow. And this poor man looks at this young lady next to him and goes, we don't accept tales of adventure, do we? I said, then with soybeans. In my bag, I have soybeans for everybody. Soybean, soybean. And here's the thing. I have fun with these. Nobody's going to stop me with that. And do they laugh every time? They do not. I don't care. You know, a lot of this, I've even had travelers show me this on the airplane not knowing that I'm the one that invented it. Now here's the thing. Do these make good marketing tools? You bet. Do people hang on to them? Will they put them in their wallets and hang on to them? Here's a picture of my pride and joy for you. It's a bottle of pride and a bottle of joy. But I brought some more. But here's the thing with them. People hang on to these for years and years and years. This is a great tool. Humor connects us at a level that only humor can do. We're going to have fun here, right? So here's one more. This is my boring meeting glasses. You ever been in a boring meeting? You ever been in a meeting so boring you wanted to fake a heart attack to get out of it? These are boring meeting glasses. You can put these on. You could be out like a light. Nobody knows. And I know some of you are saying, Tim, did you bring any more of those? This is also, here, she had her hand up here. These are seat savers up on the screen right now. These are seat savers. You ever been in a meeting, you need somebody to save your seat? You know, you don't want to, oh, she beat you here. There's a seat saver for you. This is mental floss. When you're telling people, you know, if they'll say that's the way we've always done it, or we're not going to be able to help you, this is mental floss. You can just floss out. There's one for you. There's one. She said, I got to have one of those. Oh, there you go. There's one more. The string may come out. You can do it. All right. But again, this is just fun stuff that you want to hang on to. All right. All right. So the last part is share it. Say it. Share it. We want to share this humor. There are so many things that you can do. I spoke for a group of folks that spend a lot of time in cubicles. This is a cube crab. You go across the top of the cubicle with it, you know. Are we being a little crabby today? I did a program for a group of dog catchers, told me I couldn't find anything funny about what they did, so I got them these. And if you've ever had your boss on you, you can wear them like this too. All of this stuff, it's not about, again, it's not about telling jokes. You know, I think the little things people say are what push us to the edge. My boss used to come in every day at 9 o'clock and tell, when I worked for the government in the U.S., he'd do this. Morning, head screwed on tight today? Good to see you. Morning, is your head screwed on tight today? Good to see you. Now, the first time I got asked if my head was screwed on tight, I did think that was mildly amusing. But after a month of hearing, is your head screwed on tight, I needed to deal with it. I got one of these for everybody. And he gets right about here and he goes, morning, Gard. And I did this. Close one, sir. Good thing you were here. But all these things, I mean, there's so many things like this that you can do. Everybody has something about what they do that's funny. We just don't want to fight it. You define the situational stress factors that push you to the edge and then try to find a way to get past them. And one of them is like this, my policy manual. One of the first times I went to use it, because I travel so much, I insulate myself. I don't want to be next to the ice machine or the pop machine. I don't want to be next to the elevator. I don't smoke, so I'm on a non-smoking area or something like this. Go to check into a hotel. Hi, Tim Gard, checking in. What'd they say? Still Tim Gard. Do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. And he types, he goes, sir, I'm very sorry to tell you, but your non-smoking room was given away earlier in the day. All we have left are smoking rooms. And I said, what do you mean? He said, you have to sleep in a smoking room. And I said, I don't have any cigarettes. I can't help you with that. And he said, sir, he said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, do you have any non-smoking suites available? Yes, sir, we do, but they're $150 more per night. Now, I know for a fact I can't pass that cost on to my customers, so I said, can you upgrade me to a non-smoking suite at no cost since you gave me a non-smoking room? No. Our policy is we don't upgrade based on smoking preference. So I pulled out my policy manual. I opened up my policy to 2000.2, hotel reservations, and I read to her, if I request and reserve a non-smoking room at any hotel on that property, then gives my non-smoking room away to another guest prior to my arrival, then that hotel is required by law to upgrade me to a non-smoking suite at no additional cost, no exceptions. And I said, do you want to see it? She goes, yeah, and she takes it and she reads it. And she's telling the other clerk, it's right there. He's not kidding. If it's in writing, it must be true. And she said, well, that's not our policy. Show me your manual. We don't have one. Well, I think we're going to have to go with mine on that. And she said, you need to talk to the manager. I've heard this before, so I opened up my policy manual too, 3000.1, talking with managers about my official policy, and I read to her, once I verbalized my policy to any employee at any level, I'm then forbidden by policy to repeat said policy verbally in writing to anyone else, no exceptions. It's right here. And she looks at me and she says, sir, I don't know what to do. And I said, I'd like to help you, but my hands are tied here. I mean, it's policy. It's in writing. It's right here. I slept in the presidential suite that night. the non-smoking presidential suite. But now here's the thing, you know, as you're doing this, you can even write your own policies up here. There are open spaces in here that when something happens, you can write it in. I had a group that, I was at a restaurant, and they refused to seat me until the rest of our dining party had arrived. It was a surprise birthday party. And I said, that doesn't work at a surprise party. It's not going to work. And she says, that's our policy. And so I hand wrote this in my policy manual as I'm standing there. If I'm the first of several friends to arrive at a restaurant and the greeter refuses to seat me until the rest of my party arrives, then I'll be provided free of charge any substance I eat or drink during the time the table is withheld. No exceptions. And she said, I just saw you write that in that book. We'll get all the way back here. And so I opened up my policy manual 1000.3, and I read to her, this authorizes me to write new and updated policies in this book as needed. Said handwritten policy shall immediately become effective and remain in effect till a final policy can be formulated, finalized, and recorded in the appropriate category. And she looked at me and she said, you win. Which is really all I wanted, all right? Now let's say you have to convince somebody that they need to give you good customer service. What do you need to convince people of anything? Charts and graphs. In the back of my policy manual, I have charts and graphs. And I'll tell people, let's look at this graph on the right-hand side. Do you want me to be satisfied? And they'll say, yes, I do. Well, if you look at this here, if I don't get my way, I may be only 20% satisfied. If I get my way, I could be up to 100% satisfied, which in my quarterly chart on the left shows is clearly best for me. And I've actually had people go, well, that makes sense, Mr. Gard. All right, so I'm running out of time. Let me put all this together here for you. This is my world. When you fly, how many of you are flying when you leave here? How many are flying? A lot of you? When you fly, where do you want to sit on the airplane? Where do you want to sit? Oh, come on. First class is where we want to sit. Have I taught you nothing? I always have a fun time trying to get upgraded. I was on a Delta flight, and I don't have a lot of status on them. And you know how you get on some of the little commuter flights, and they'll make people move to the back of the plane to help balance the load? I was on a flight going out of Dallas, and there were 6 first-class seats open, and nobody was sitting there. I'm on an airline with no status. And after I got my drink, the lady